One of my first quests is officially dead. You probably can't see in here, but it's on inside. It's a solid black screen. You can restart it. You can factory reset it, but all it ever does is it shows green bar loading. You see the Meta logo spinning after that, and then it goes back to this black screen. We've even tried taking it through the computer tool, connecting it and trying to fix it that way. I guess next step is to hit up Fix My Oculus.
Well, you heard the man. It's time for us to try to fix JayBratt's Quest 3. Alrighty guys, welcome back to Fix My Oculus, the channel where we fix, repair, tear down, and talk about all things VR. Before we get into this repair, I want to talk to you a little bit about what I thought I was getting into, because I think it's one of the most misunderstood things when it comes to these headsets. When you hear the term boot loop or black screen of death or gray screen or whatever you want to call it, it's easy to think of that as kind of the problem. Like that's the issue. The screens just don't work or something like that. But it's not really the issue. It's a symptom. The headset boot looping or just sitting there on a black screen, that is the result of something else going wrong. Either it's a software thing and it can't get all the way through the startup the way that it's supposed to, or it's booting up fine, but it's just refusing to put an image on the displays. And most of the time that's because some piece of hardware inside the headset isn't doing its job. Sometimes, and this is the good news version, it's not the hardware. Sometimes it's a firmware thing or a caching issue, and you can usually clear that up yourself just with a hard reset or a firmware update or a factory reset. If it's a software or firmware issue, one of those things is going to help you out. But usually by the time one of these shows up at Fix My Oculus, that stuff has already been done. I mean, you just heard Jay talk about it. Restarted it, factory reset it, ran it through the computer tool, and it's still boot looping. So by the time it gets to my workbench, it's almost always hardware. Now, which piece of hardware is actually causing the issue kind of depends a little bit on the headset. On the Quest 3, the things that I see over and over again are things like the depth sensor failing or being damaged. And then a lot of the time it's this mic volume button assembly that just gets a little bit of liquid damage in it. Causes a short, creates an issue in the tracking system, no image. On the Quest 2 and the 3S, it's gonna almost always be a tracking camera issue. The Quest 2 can also get this issue from a bad proximity sensor, but I don't really see that on the 3 because the silicone face shield seems to protect the proximity sensor better, and you don't see it on the 3S because it doesn't have a proximity sensor. So that is kind of what I figured I was getting into today with Jay's headset. Pull it out, test the issue, take it apart, see which piece of hardware has failed, fix it, and then send it home. And in those cases, JayBratt, this thing works. What the heck? Look, I didn't even do anything. Yeah, so this headset just works for me. Went right into pass-through as soon as I started it up the first time I tried to make this video. So I reached out to Jay about it, who was as surprised as I was. So we talked about it for a minute while I was just kind of running some tests. And then I noticed something really weird. I was just kind of going through the setup process and pairing the controllers to make sure that nothing else was going on with it. And I noticed that I wasn't getting any audio out of this headset. The volume button seemed like it was working. I could register that on the screen, and the speakers seemed fine, but there was just no audio coming out of them, which is kind of a rare issue because the Quest 3 board actually has 2 amplifiers, one for each speaker. So I asked him about that too, and he was like, oh yeah, did I not mention that? So I think we might actually have an issue after all. I kind of think I might know what it is, but honestly, I'm not sure yet. Issues like these are really one-offs, so the only way to find out is to open it up. Getting into the Quest 3 is actually pretty easy once you know how to do it. I know I'm a little biased because I do it a lot, but really you just kind of need a pry tool and your fingernails to undo these clips around the silicone face shield and these ones around the eyes. There's another clip at the bridge of the nose, and we take that thing off, and we'll probably clean up his eye cowlings while we're in here. So I'll go ahead and pop those off too. Next thing is just to take out the screws that hold in the faceplate. And please don't consider this a tutorial video. If you need a full tutorial, I have videos specifically designed for that. I'm gonna skip some steps here because this is more of a investigation and I guess active problem solving than it is a tutorial, because what could possibly cause a black screen issue and a speaker issue? They seem like they would be unrelated, but I don't think that they are. Next, we got this big old retaining bracket. We'll go ahead and get our screws out of that too, because this whole thing has to come out in order for us to see the cables. Now, I know from experience that the BSOD boot loop issue that Jay's experiencing is not because of the proximity sensor or the tracking cameras, because pass-through works. I mean, I've not had an issue with the boot loop black screen thing since it got here, So I know that the issue is at least somewhat intermittent. So I'm just going to say all these sensors on the front plate are probably good. Probably in part thanks to these camera protectors that JayBratt puts on his Quest 3. I'm not sponsored by anybody who makes these, but they are very good. I think that these are as good for your headset as something like lens protectors. And more protection for your Quest can hardly ever be a bad call, right? Honestly, just first glance, everything looks really clean here. I'm gonna have to take a couple more things out so that I can get a better shot at this bezel and actually see if there's any liquid damage down there. The motherboard and all of the ribbon cables all look like they're in really good shape. There's not a whole bunch of excess dust. Actually a really clean headset for as much as I know JayBratt uses it. And to my point about the speakers being okay, there's nothing wrong with these wires, nothing wrong with the cable connections on the board, and because the lack of audio is on both sides simultaneously, I'm pretty sure that it's not amplifier related. I guess it could be, but that would be really weird. Most of the time when you see a amplifier or one of the speaker connections go bad, that's only gonna happen on one side, not both. They're so far apart on the board, and I've never seen it personally, so it would just be very odd. Do need to pop the board out of here, one, so that I can get a good look at the back of the board and just make sure nothing's going on. And this fan has to come out too. And then 4 screws so that we can take out the board. Now, I really wish that I could just pop the bezel out right where I'm at. Wouldn't that be so convenient? But I can't. This big old aluminum plate here does 2 things. Covers up the battery, which is great for thermal control, but it also prevents me from removing this little IPD sensor here. This little sensor detects a magnet that's on the scroll wheel and helps the headset determine where your IPD is set at. So we need to take this plate out so that we can unscrew this because it's fixed to the bezel that I need to see and inspect. Speaking of inspect, I did kind of skip over this, but that board looks really clean to me. I don't see any issues there. If I still have issues later, then we'll get out the multimeter and just double check those amps. And really, just a couple more screws here so that we can pop out this bezel. And this, what you're looking at here, is pretty typical for these Quest 3s. When you breathe and you're wearing the headset, that moisture tends to get caught right around here. And so it's not wildly uncommon for there to be a little bit of corrosion near the microphone and near the volume button. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if this was the cause of the issue that JayBratt was having that caused the headset to boot loop and black screen the way that it was doing for him. Liquid damage is a funny thing. Anybody from the early days of cell phones will tell you that electronics can, under the right circumstances, get wet, get corroded, get dried out again, and then work for a while, maybe indefinitely, as long as the liquid exposure and the corrosion doesn't get worse. So probably what happened is that there was enough damage to this ribbon cable assembly with the microphone and the volume button to cause it to short out. And then JayBratt packaged it up, put it in a really dry cardboard box where it got shipped to me in the middle of summer, and the headset dried back out. And by the time it got to me, it was working again. If you're at home and you're dealing with this problem, you can probably treat it with some isopropyl alcohol. Make sure that it's really good and dry and there's no moisture in there and there's no corrosion, and it'll probably work for a long time, if not indefinitely. That is generally not how I do things around here though. If I see a bad part, I tend to replace it because I don't want to show back up at JayBratt's place and still have the issue. So at the very least, I know I need to replace this. But there is still the matter of the audio issue. And there's only one thing in my experience that can cause that kind of a thing. Now, JayBratt and his headset are kind of a special case, kind of because he's primarily in a career where he tests lots of Quest stuff. He told me in our messages that because the audio is out on his headset, he primarily just uses the auxiliary jack headphones. The auxiliary jack on these units is kind of a funny thing because when it's active, it disables the audio on both speakers. And if it has a short, it connects directly to the camera system. So I think there's something wrong with this audio jack. That's my best guess. I don't really see these things ever have problems. It's very uncommon. But again, this is the only thing that I can think of that would basically silence the audio on both sides of the headset, short of some critical motherboard failure, which we know is probably not true because everything else seems to be working just fine. So let's replace it and put this Quest 3 back together and see if we get audio. I've got this mostly put back together now, so now we just need to turn it on, and if we hear some sound, then we'll be happy. That's a good sign. Still no black screen issue, so that's a positive.
Where are we going? We're going here? We'll check. What was that for?
I'd say that's a big improvement. So we'll just go ahead and finish putting this back together then. There is a very small part of me that's a little concerned I'm going to put this back together and it's still not going to have audio, or it's going to stop having audio for some reason. I don't know. Weird things happen sometimes. Sometimes you just put a bracket on or put a faceplate on and something disconnects or gets loose. I mean, repairs are like 90% science and engineering and 10% magic. I've been doing this for a long time, and there's still probably at least once a week where something happens and I just kind of go, huh, okay, well, I guess that works then. Or, oh no, everything that I know is useless now. And it's always like the easy repairs. Like, why didn't that work? I've done this a bunch of times. Just kind of goes to show that no matter how much you think you never know everything. There's always stuff to learn, especially with something like VR. Never run out of things to learn. Okay, moment of truth. If it turns on, we're happy. Yay. And no black screen. So I think we can go ahead, button this headset back up, make sure our silicone face shield is all the way in here. Clean it up a little bit so we look nice and new. And I think that headset is ready to go back home. Thanks for hanging out with me today and helping me fix JayBratt's headset. I'm really glad that he reached out to me about this, and I'm glad that I was able to help him out with more than just one issue in this case. If you all ever need help with your headsets, or you need your VR headset or controller repaired, or you just need parts for your own repair, you can always check out our website, fixmyoculus.com. We offer free shipping on every repair that is sent to us, so you can go to the website, request a free shipping label, and send your device in so that we can evaluate it and get it working again for you. But I think that's really all I've got for you guys today. I've got to get JayBratt's headset all packaged up and sent to the shipping team, and we'll see you on the next one.